Welcome to Back in 5. Today I'm catching up with Jason from Woodlands and Wetlands Trust, who manages Mulligans Flat. Mulligans Flat is an amazing bushland area here at our back doorstep in Gungahlin. So let's go have a chat with Jason, meet some locals and find out what it's all about.
Yeah, well, obviously the history of this place goes back tens of thousands of years from when the Ngunnawal people first managed this landscape. So we know that this is an important pathway for the Ngunnawal community, linking Lake George through Ginninderra Creek down to the Murrumbidgee River. So long history of land use, of occupation and of using the resources that the land here provided. In the last 100 years it's had a grazing history, so has been managed as for sheep production primarily. And because of the tenure system in the ACT, there was never a lot of farming investment in the place, which means it's actually some of the best quality boxgum woodland left in the country. Okay, so about 20 years ago now there was a big campaign by the local conservation community to have it protected, and that was really on the back of understanding the bird community that was here and the important diversity that this place holds. So a nature reserve was declared probably 15 years ago, and then 10 years ago a partnership between the ACT government and the ANU set up a long-term experiment here and then a sanctuary. So, and what you can see behind me perhaps is the fox-proof fence, which is integral to keeping the foxes on this side and letting us do reintroductions in the sanctuary. We have an active program where every week, twice a week at the moment, we run twilight tours which leave just after sunset, and so they're very popular for residents but also visiting friends and relatives who come and visit us. During the school holidays we have particular programs as well where we take school kids out in the daytime as well as the night time, and so there's often different types of programs that we're running. So just on the weekend we had a spider tour that was booked out, so I think about 20 people were taken on a guided tour in the sanctuary looking for different types of spiders. So keep an eye on our website, and there's all sorts of tours from bird watching for beginners through to our regular twilight tour program. We're on the site of our future visitor centre, Visitor and Education Centre. We've just lodged a development application in November for this project. We're looking to build a new facility opening next year where the community can come, school groups can come, they can learn about our programs, they can meet a bettong, they can go on guided tours, they can be part of formal education programs. So it's a very exciting program for us to get this building out of the ground, and we think it's going to be an amazing asset for Throsby residents, for Gungahlin residents, but for the city as a whole. So the sanctuary is open all the time for the public, so people are able to come and go on their own self-guided tours. There's 3 walks that are now loaded into an app on the iTunes store. You can download the app and take yourself on a self-guided tour and listen to one of our ecologists tell you about what you're seeing in front of you as you go around the landscape. So there's a great diversity of flora and fauna, animals and plants in the sanctuary, particularly you can see lots of kangaroos, redneck wallabies, swamp wallabies. That's in the daytime. Echidnas are very common. It's probably the best place in Canberra to see an echidna, and that's an important part of the story. Because we don't have foxes in the sanctuary, we're recognising the abundance of wildlife that would occur if we didn't have foxes in the broader landscape. So there's lots of birds as well. We've got galahs around us at the moment, cockatoos, I heard corellas before, superb parrots. And then at night time there's a different complement of flora that come out. So at night time you can see our bushstone curlews, which are coming into the suburbs now from time to time. You can see eastern bettongs, the only place on mainland Australia where you can see those animals. Sugar gliders, and then the kangaroos and the redneck wallabies doing their nighttime things as well. It's important that these animals inside the sanctuary get used to predation and can avoid it, so that ultimately our ultimate goal is to have them outside the sanctuary where there are foxes and cats and other predators. So we need to train them up on the inside to be ready for life outside in the long term. One thing we've observed is the possums are much more frequent on the ground than you see elsewhere in the landscape. So there is some evidence that the animals are changing their behaviours, and obviously that's a good thing, but also a challenge for us, because we want animals inside the sanctuary to be aware of predators, to get used to predators, so that ultimately when we get them outside the fence, they're able to survive foxes and cats. So what we're trying to do now is think about what predators we might bring into the sanctuary in the future, and so by that I mean animals and other animals obviously, but Rosenberg's goanna or pythons or perhaps a dingo at some time in the future, so that our animals are predator savvy. The sanctuary will provide for future generations a vision for what the landscape can be like. The community can come here and see what we can achieve in the Australian landscape if we sort out foxes and cats more broadly. So it really is, we think, a gift for future generations. We think it's an amazing place and a place that opens people's eyes to what's possible in the Australian landscape. So if you want to find out more, go to our websites, either mulligansflat.org.au or jerrabomberwetlands.org.au. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. We're at the 4 Community Centre, so you can drop in and meet us. There's opportunities for people to volunteer, to donate, to be part of the project here, get involved in our citizen science projects, Turtle Patrol, however you would like to engage, we're here and welcoming your support and looking forward to meeting you.